Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and the place to be, it's Debsy. Boop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I hope everybody is having a wonderful week and had a great day. I am so excited and so happy because we know what it is. It is the day after the premiere of the 6th season of the best show on TV right now, and the absolute, in my mind, currently the best franchise of Real Housewives. That would be the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. All of the ladies are back. Oh, so let's grab something to drink. I have a crystal clear water. Water. Let's get into it. I'm going to tell you and also listen, I don't know if she's going to watch or not. If she does, Emily, hello, if you're there, my very dear friend, Emily from Emily's Life on Wheels. She had asked me before, she said, I know you watch Real Housewives. Which is one of the cities that I should maybe watch? And I said, well, I don't know. So she started watching OC. Now, I've never watched the OC. I don't think she kept up with the OC. But then I did tell her, well, listen, there's Salt Lake City. And at the time, she started watching it at the end of last year. So she caught up real quick. She watched all of them. So she is making her official debut as a part of Real Housewives fandom and the Bravo universe. So welcome, Emily. I love it. I love it. I love actually having a friend IRL who watches it. And okay, so let's go. Okay. I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, they always have some of the most dramatical and cinematographic, that's not a word, openings. They always have the best openings. Wait, is this? Okay, there we go. They always seem to have the best openings. And this was no different, because to me, it kind of almost felt like it was very Blair Witch Project-ish. You know what I mean? And then didn't Mary say, and this is how the witch hunt begins. Oh, it sends shivers down my spine. It sends shivers. That's what I'm going to say now. Shivers. It sends shivers down my spine, even just saying it. So, okay. So here's Mary. Angie pulling up in this RV. I don't know why I felt like she was dressed like a bellhop or like an attendant or something, but she pulls up in this RV. She picks up Mary Cosby. Picking up Mary Cosby for a Class A getaway in an RV was really not on my 2025 bingo card, but it's there. So here's what they're going to do. So all the ladies are getting together. They're going on a Class A getaway. All the ladies. And in my mind, I'm like, what exactly would make you think that some of these ladies, especially when I say some of these ladies, I mean, I'm looking at you, Mary, I'm looking at you, Meredith, and I'm looking at you, Lisa Barlow. What would make you think that Lisa Barlow would be okay with sleeping in an RV? Listen, famously last year, she couldn't even sit in seat 17C in coach. And You think she's gonna sleep? She's gonna sleep. Oh, what's this little stray hair? You know what? We're just gonna keep it there. It'll be like Brittany, out of place. So anyways, yeah, she couldn't even stand sitting in coach last year. And you're thinking that she is going to be able to deal with this, with an RV. I don't think so. But wait a second. Hold up though. Because everybody is on the trip, but Lisa is not on the trip. And as we find out, even though Lisa is not on the trip, Lisa is still a main part of the trip. So the two ladies pull up to meet the other ladies in the parking lot of Beauty Lab. And I don't understand this. Why? I mean, I kind of understand why she would have it with her, but I don't understand why Brittany. Now, the invitation did say bikinis, something about pack your bikinis or something. But here's Brittany showing up. Brittany showing up in a business suit and a bikini. Like Heather saying it looks like she's gonna have lunch with like a congressman. It rang kind of true, but she shows up in this business suit and a bikini. But wait a minute. So they all get into the RV, and a flashback PTSD from season 2, whenever when it all went down in the parking lot of Beauty Lab for Jen Shaw. So here's the SWAT team outside asking for Whitney Rose, and I was like, oh my God, shit. As it turns out, it was a prank that Whitney set up. They were strippers. I love that. I thought that was hilarious. I love that. But here's the thing. Angie said that she didn't tell the ladies that they were going to be in an RV, but I don't know if I believe that, because Whitney was texting them. Was texting like the entertainers. Let's call them the male entertainers. And was texting them that we're in the RV, meet us. So I don't know. I feel like she did know that they were going to be going on an RV. Okay. So everybody gets on the bus, on the RV, and talk turns to, well, where's Lisa? I myself, personally, I thought Lisa wasn't there because I had heard that she was having contract negotiations. She was having her contract renegotiated. But then there was a clip showing Lisa FaceTiming Angie saying she isn't going because she doesn't want to be around Bronwyn because Bronwyn is a pathological liar. But then she comes out and says that she is she's working. She has a work trip. Now, I had seen something online where one of these, podcasters or something had interviewed Lisa, and she said that, in fact, she was working, because on there she said, I'm working with Ben and Blake. Now listen, if you want to impress me, if you say you're working with Blake Lively, that's not going to impress me at all. Did you see that? Oh, that water just spat right out. So anyways, as it turns out, she was at, I believe it was the South by Southwest movie festival. And because she does work on Sundance Film Festival, but she was in Texas working on South by Southwest movie festival. And she was helping with the premiere of a Ben Affleck movie and the premiere of Another Simple Favor, which I heard was terrible. I wouldn't see it. I wouldn't even see it for free. So, yeah. So she's saying that she is working. There's there's doubt, like right from the start, there's doubt. Whitney doubts that she's working. This is the chance now for the hardest working friend of to come in and make her entrance for the season. That's Brittany. Brittany is the hardest working friend of. Listen, you can say anything you want about Brittany, but Brittany, you can't call her lazy. And you can't tell me she isn't working for a snowflake. She wants to get that snowflake. She immediately comes to her bestie's defense. There was a picture that was taken of them, and she's like, she feels like a sister to me. Heather, meanwhile, is like, does Lisa know about this friendship that she has with Brittany? And Brittany then immediately jumps on Whitney about like, oh, well, what about your business? And then she references like some MLM chatter that's been going on about her online. Whitney then, in turn, turns around on her and is like, well, what do you do to make your money? I mean, is it, is it the baloney pony? Is it getting the baloney pony? That's what I'm going to say. I'm just going to say getting the baloney. Oral with the baloney pony. That's all I'm going to say. The baloney pony. And so there's that. Do you get the baloney pony? That's it. Okay. So all that chatter. And then they pull up to that campground. Oh my gosh. They pull up to that hoopty campground. They're like, there is an abandoned, burnout, like, school bus. There's dumpsters. I mean, what part of Meredith Marks says, yeah, I would like this? So everybody's just trying to make the best of it. Brittany has to bring out. Brittany's like, I got a game. I thought, oh no. So she's like, I'm a video girl, so I'm going to be, she brought camcorders. Old school camcorders for everybody to record their trip on, which, okay, it could be worse. It's funny that she's trying to, make a joke of this. I mean, Meredith doesn't think it's funny, but okay. So they're sitting around, they're having lunch, and once again, Lisa is brought up. Lisa's not, see what I say? Lisa's not physically on this trip, but Lisa's on this trip. They could never get rid of Lisa Barlow because there are things that I just do not like about Lisa, but Lisa just has beef with everybody, and she stirs the pot so much, and she's such a drama queen. You couldn't get rid of her. Like, we'll discuss this later, but okay. But I do agree with Heather. Listen, if there's a girls' trip and you don't go, 9 times out of 10, you're trying to make a statement. There are those times when people don't go, like when Mary didn't go on things last year, it was because of things that she was dealing with Robert Jr. But 9 times out of 10, if you don't go, you are sending some kind of a message. Whitney brings up the fact that, hey, there's a lot of news out there with these lawsuits. Apparently there's 5 lawsuits against I don't know if it's against Lisa and her husband. Her husband is John, right? Yeah. Against Lisa and John, both Barlows, or just Lisa. I don't know. But there are some lawsuits online. And people are like, and Bronwyn brings that up too. She's like, there's 5 lawsuits against the Barlows. And Heather's like, where did you get that? Do you know that that's really true? She's like, I got it from Salt Lake Tribune. Girl, it was in the newspaper. Maybe read the newspaper. Maybe don't just get your news from like, reality TV websites. It was in a paper. Bronwyn's like, listen, it's a little convenient that there's all of these lawsuits going on, and conveniently you have a work trip that you don't have, that you can't come on our trip because you have this work conveniently right around the time where there's all this chatter of all these lawsuits. And she did make a good point. She was like, how about if you fix your shit before you point out our issues? And things she's saying, she's like, we know about each other's lives, but she doesn't really let us in on anything. And listen, if that's the case, if that's what you're going to do, now that I think about it, if you're not going to let somebody know what's going on in your life, and then they see things out there in the news, you're going to start thinking things. You're not going to be getting both sides of the story. You're going to be getting one side, but you're not going to be getting her side. So I could kind of understand where you would maybe be thinking, making things up for yourself is all I'm saying. I don't want to say making things up for yourself is good, but I'm just saying, why not get both sides of the story? The one from the newspaper and Lisa's is all I'm saying. Here's the thing that, and she knows, and also Lisa knows meanwhile, Lisa knows all this stuff about everybody else's business, and nobody knows anything about her business. She keeps that tight. Here's the thing that I was not a fan of. Like, I thought it was funny that Whitney did that whole prank in Beauty Lab. I thought that was funny, but I thought that is maybe where it should have ended at discussing Jen Shaw. I feel like she is like Beetlejuice. Maybe if you say her name 3 times, she's gonna appear. I get it. She's in prison, but she's scheduled to be released. I believe I had heard it's September of next year. And who's to say that that's not going to get bumped up? In my mind, am I thinking that Andy Cohen is going to be right there asking her to come back on the show? It would not surprise me if he did extend that invitation to have her come back to the show. It wouldn't surprise me. Am I going to bet my life on it that he's going to do it? No. Would I bet $5? Sure. I would bet $5 he's going to do it. So I thought it was funny what Whitney did, but then when Angie was making the analogy of comparing what Jen did to the lawsuits that Lisa has against her, that was a hard pass for me. I don't think that landed well. And she apologized. She was like, because Heather was like, come on. And Angie said, okay, well, lead balloon, it didn't. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. But then here's the thing. Now that we're on talking about apologies and taking accountability. So Heather then gets on Bronwyn and compares what Bronwyn said last year about that $4 million necklace to Lisa being sued. I don't understand how that Bronwyn isn't being sued. Bronwyn, if you remember last year on their trip, on their anniversary trip, there was that $4 million necklace. She then came out and said that Todd bought it for her. And as it turns out, they did not buy it. So, and I appreciate this. I like when they can take accountability. Bronwyn had admitted that, listen, we didn't buy it. I was just trying to, I said that so I could fit in, so I could be in the cool kids club. You know, I shouldn't have done it, and that's never going to happen again. So I don't understand how Bronwyn saying that last year was anywhere near Lisa being sued, because Bronwyn's not being sued and she's not suing anybody. I thought that was so dumb. But I do appreciate Bronwyn coming out and admitting that she was wrong and taking accountability. I love that when that happens. I forget who had said it, but Lisa Barlow does talk shit on everybody. And when I say everybody, and she hated it, and she was crying and she was all upset whenever Whitney had brought up that rumor that she had heard about the Barlows and swinging. She was beyond outraged and sad when that was brought up. But then there's her talking about Sean, you know, and other guys in a circle, you know, jerking around. I'm not going to say it. That, or the hot mic moment from Meredith, or calling Meredith crazy and taking the pills, which that sucks right there. Ugh. So she said stuff about everybody, but then somebody comes out and says something about her, and it's okay for her to say that, but suddenly somebody comes out and says something about her, and she's crying, and she's gonna start legal action and this and that. It's all garbage. So listen, another thing, Heather, I forget what she had said. She had said something like, well, because there was talk of like, well, Angie, you wouldn't say anything to Lisa's face. I'm going to guarantee you this. I guarantee you 3 people definitely say something to her face. That would be Angie, that would be Bronwyn, and that would be Whitney. Those 3, they would say something. Would Heather? Because Heather was like, in confessional, she's like, she is my friend, and I'm going to say something, and I'm going to speak up. She did somewhat, but, you know, she also had said, well, don't tell Lisa that I was here for this. I think she's all bark, I think she's all bark but no bite. Brit, and then we get, hold up a second, but then we get, can I have your attention? Have your attention, everybody? Yes, Brittany? Jared, Joel, and I are engaged. And she was really expecting everybody to be like, hooray! You finally nabbed Jared, Joel. And nobody did anything. And then the other shoe dropped, and she was like, but then we got unengaged. So they were engaged, and then they were unengaged. And the reason why they were unengaged was because their kids hated it. Their children hated the idea. So, are they still dating? We don't know. But she's pretty sure that he's sick. She's pretty sure that he's single. That is until Whitney is like, I saw them at this cafe. I saw him at the cafe with many different dates. He even introduced me to some of them. So girl, move on. Please move on from Jared Joel. Please. Okay, so Angie does have some activities planned. You can either go fly fishing, which I don't, once again, I don't see Meredith or Mary doing fly fishing. But they do. Or you can go kayaking. Okay, so Angie, Brittany, Mary, and Meredith, they go fly fishing. And bad weather, which, is Heather and Whitney, and Bronwyn go kayaking. And here's the thing. Heather really, really does not like Bronwyn. I mean, really does not like her, which kind of it didn't totally surprise me, but it kind of threw me for a loop because if you remember, like at the end of the reunion last season, Andy had people go around and say something nice about another housewife, and Bronwyn said very nice things to say, very complimentary things to say about Heather, and Heather returned the favor, and said, I think you're a great fit on the show, and you're doing an amazing job raising Gwen, and such great things. So you were thinking that maybe things would get a little better between the two of them, but for Heather, it really hasn't. So what Whitney does is there's a single kayak, there's a kayak for two people. She immediately pushes Bronwyn and Heather to be in that kayak. And it seems like it may have worked at the end. Meanwhile, over there at fly fishing, Meredith, I'm going to tell you, those fish, you're not going to catch any fish, honey. You are taking their babies for your caviar. So those fish are staying clear away from you. But also, listen, I appreciate Mary Cosby. I haven't always been a Mary Cosby fan, but in the last couple seasons, I'm enjoying Mary Cosby. Mary Cosby, if she doesn't bring anything else, she brings fabulous one-liners and she brings comedy. So she's over there. When they were talking about resuscitating a fish, and that guy's name was Dusty, and she's like, what's your name? Dusty. Gusty? Dusty. Gusty? No, Dusty. Okay, Gusty. Seriously. The Gusty. So she's over there talking to Gusty about resuscitating fish. I love Mary Cosby. Okay, so everybody's done. They get back to the campsite. I don't understand I just don't understand what Angie was thinking whenever she packed the food, because number one, everybody's gonna have to cook everything over this fire. So there's Mary Cosby trying to cook a stone cold frozen garden burger on a stick over a fire. And then just giving up and eating a plain old dry ass bagel. But and she goes on this, she brings, I don't know how you're supposed to roast asparagus over the fire on a stick. Also, there's no buns for the hot dog. Oh, her eating that hot dog, Angie eating that hot dog off that stick. Oh my God, that's a mess. So there's scary stories. They're telling scary stories too. There was the legend of Molly Sorensen. The legend of Molly Sorensen. Apparently, Molly Sorensen was this polygamous girl who escaped from the colony and now is going out there searching for young girls. So watch out, because Molly's out there. Meredith is like, we're not young. So as soon as Heather was like, she's searching for young women. Okay, that's what I said too. I was like, they're not young, and then Mary coming out and saying, if Molly Sorensen is real, then Molly needs to come to this campsite and cook this food for us. If not, she's not alive. It's a lie. I thought that was so funny. So Heather and Bronwyn, they're really getting along, which is surprising. Heather's like, well, it's because we're out in the nature. Nature will do that to you. Angie's like, or could it be because Lisa's not here? If Lisa were here, then you would be on Lisa's side. You would be protecting Lisa. But since she's not here, you can just relax. Heather didn't think that was the case. Heather didn't like that. So remember, we're talking about Lisa. So then here comes Brittany. Brittany has the worst timing. Brittany can't read a room, and Brittany has the worst timing because here comes Brittany then making it all about herself, picking a fight with Whitney, talking about how you were saying that I would do Jared Joel for money. And Whitney was like, listen, I said that because you came after me and you came after my business. If you really want to know what's going on, my business failed. So I guess it's at Prism. Her jewelry company failed. And so now she failed all these people who worked for her and her family, and she feels terrible. And she feels like a failure. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I think, number one, it does take courage to tell somebody this because it's something that she really loved. But I like that she came out, she told them about it. This made her very real because when you watch these shows and you see that they're living like this high life and everything looks perfect for them and they're on TV and they're famous and they're making money. But then when you see that they have problems too and not everything that they do is perfect, when you see that, it makes them they're not that relatable to me, but it makes them a little bit more relatable, and it makes you like them a little bit more because you see that they are like everybody else. Whereas with Lisa Barlow, like, you never hear when something is wrong, everything is great. And, we have the best tequila in the world, even though I've never even seen Vita Tequila. Is that what it is? Vita Tequila. I would much rather I want to hear about their successes and I want to see like their opulent lives. However, I would also like to hear about their struggles. That's what makes them human. So she was like, listen, you came for me and I came for you. And then Brittany tries to, I'm sorry, Whit, I'm so sorry. And then goes over and tries to hug her. Listen, I can understand why Whitney wouldn't have wanted the hug because, number one, I'm not super huggy and super touchy, but also not everybody forgives as quickly. You know what I mean? Like, just because you said I'm sorry doesn't necessarily mean I want you over here in my personal space on top of me hugging me. That's all I'm saying. And then there's a back and forth between Meredith and Brittany. Brittany thought they were really better friends, but after that whole recording in the van, in the Spurner van, which, by the way, you will never convince me that Meredith Marks' crash out in the back of that Spurner van at Brittany is not like the greatest crash out in reality TV, if not the greatest, then at least top 5. Seriously, when she yelled, you can leave now. You can get out of here, from a moving van, from a van that is moving down the highway. Yeah, there's no love lost between Meredith and Brittany. So the episode ends on the ladies walking out into the wilderness with their camcorders to find Molly Sorensen. And yes, Mary, you are correct. If I were you, I would have just stayed in the locked RV, because she is correct. As horror movies go, at least from the past, the horror movies that I've seen, the black characters do always die first. So if I were her, I would have just stayed locked in the RV. Molly Sorensen isn't getting into a locked RV. So it doesn't look like it ends well. So if you watched, listen, I'm so happy they're back. I am so happy that my girls from Salt Lake City are back. So if you watched, let me know in the comments what you thought. Also, please remember, if nobody told you yet today, it's a little bit late, so hopefully they did, but if they didn't, you're loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world, so it comes right back at you. Please take care of one another and put kindness out there. It's free. Also, be aware of your surroundings, be smart and safe. Let us hydrate with some water. And if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy your way, so you make it through to another day. Love you guys, and I will probably see you tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I sound like Chit there. Yeah. All right. I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye.